All right, for the audience, let them know who is crucial when the music gets turned off.
When the music gets turned off, which is never off, no, but I'm a father first and foremost. That's me and the whole.
What values did your parents like instill from you at an early age that you still kind of like live by today?
That's tough because my parents both, they divorced when I was like in third grade. And so if anything, I would say, looking at my mom being a single parent, having to work 2 jobs, having to go through, repossessions and, living in apartments and different things like that, that takes a village, especially when you run into something like that, a divorce, you gotta have people you need to lean on, whether that's, the same parents that went through the same thing and learning those things as they go, help guide you through some of that stuff.
Yeah. So right now, I know that you're a parent as well. So what do you instill in your kids that's just like kind of like the foundational like rule? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for me, the foundational rule is probably 2 things. First thing, foremost, would probably be consistency. I want, no matter whether it's basketball practice, basketball games, or just anything that they do, knowing that I'm gonna be there to help them through it, no matter what they want to do. And if we gotta pivot, we gotta pivot. I always told them, like, hey, if you wanted to be an astronaut, we'd be going to NASA and doing those type of things. So I just ran into that with my daughter. She was playing basketball for a long time. She was like, Dad, I'm not feeling it no more. And I broke my heart. I was kidding. But it came to the point where it's like, okay, then what are we doing? What do we got to do? What do we got to pivot? Okay. And then she's like, well, I want to do this nursing thing. And so now we're trying to figure out, how do we push that? And, do we get her in and volunteering, some doing some stuff like that? So just pushing, because I never had that. So it's like trying to find that, and then just being, trying to have that open communication and honesty between us, and which is always, tough at those ages, because they're always scared to be like, hey, what are the consequences? But eventually, I feel like it comes out. Like if you, like you said, if you stay consistent, not that they tell on themselves, but it might not be right when you want to, but I think they come to you at some point and be like, he's really not that bad. I'll tell him now.
I understand you on that.
Yeah.
Like what thing in your life that like at the time it felt like a mistake, but really was like a valuable lesson learned?
I used to question like why I went through what I had to go through. And in a weird kind of full circle moment, because after my parents' divorce and everything like that, it was like, okay, a lot changes. Your whole life changes. And kind of rocks you a little bit. So then you're sitting there like, why isn't this happening? Why is this happening? That type of thing. And then you realize as you got older, it sets you up and prepared you for something that happens to you. So now you're seeing that same thing with your kids going almost to the exact same thing. And now you're able to be open and honest with them, going like, hey, I understand. I've been through there. There's not much that you haven't done that I haven't done or been through myself. So I think it took me a long time to be like, wow, this kind of came full circle. I wasn't prepared for this, but now I know the reasons why behind it.
That's an interesting perspective to look at it. I never really kind of heard it, kind of, you know what I'm saying? Interpret it like that. That's an interesting way to look at it.
Learned it the hard way, but like I said,
now you're the optimal person to be the teacher.
Exactly. I always say success is the best revenge.
See. So as a kid, how would you like during your teenage years, like how would you describe yourself? Were you like a focused person? Were you just more like chilling, going with the flow?
Man, as a kid, in my teenage years were tough. I lived with I was kind of dropped off from my dad at my grandma's. And then at that point, I really didn't have like a real figure in my life that was more like, I wouldn't say I didn't have it. Let's just say I didn't utilize, structure and what do you call it? Like structure and discipline. Having somebody there but not utilize them. At that point, it was like me. I'm on my own. I felt like I was on my own. I wanted to be my own man, and learning myself that it was like a lot going on at that time. So not only did I end up at my grandma's, but then I ended up, different people's houses. Like friendships were like the things that meant a lot to me.
Yeah, he was a loyal person.
Yeah, exactly. So, but again, things could have been different if I chose differently in certain ways.
Yeah.
So like, I could have gone back to living with my mom and stepdad at that time, and probably would have, probably elevated my education and done a lot better. But as a kid, you don't choose the discipline; you choose the opposite way.
Facts.
So that's why I'm teaching my kids to, like, hey, it's easy to choose that route, but it's not necessarily the right route.
What do you think habits have helped you stay out the most trouble in your life?
I think just being honest and true to myself. I feel like, most people know right from wrong for the most part, and just knowing, in different situations put you in different deals. But for me, it was always like I knew right from wrong. I might not always make the right choices, but ultimately I knew I didn't want to go that route because eventually I want to be a father myself.
That's deep. What is your plan to give back?
Definitely, we want to take care of my mom and mostly my children, but also instill in them that giving back to, like, I want to take them to like the around like Thanksgiving time, really be happy and honest with what they where they come from. We may not have a lot, but there's a lot of people who have a lot worse than us.
Yeah. Do you think like let's say you sign to a label right now, you get your first advance. What all right, so I know obviously, you're gonna spend your money, but like let's say money is not even an issue. Kind of like what's one world problem that you would fix?
I'll probably try to work on hunger. I think there's a lot of kids that need food, man. Mm-hmm. And so, kids are a big part of my life, and so I want them to push and look at that as well.
That's deep. If every teenager in Dallas heard one message from you, what would you tell them?
That it gets better. There's points in everybody's life where they feel that they're at the lowest. And recently, we've been kind of going through that ourselves and finding that low point and knowing that it gets better is the answer, because you don't want to be put in a situation where, hey, I can't go on like this. But for the most part, if you need help, ask.
Yeah. What legacy do you want your name to leave behind?
Oh man, at this point, I just want if somebody ever encountered me or ever knew me, just like, man, that was a solid dude, no matter what. He was always honest. Yeah. He was always there. If he said something, he was going to do it. And like I say, consistency is big for me.
Okay, so you have kids that's pursuing music as well. What advice would you give to other parents for kids that's pursuing music? Let's say these parents, they don't do music as well. Like, what's some advice you can give them to help their kids that's trying?
No, I just show interest. There's a lot of things that I didn't like, as they were growing up, but I just happened to show interest. My son liked Pokemon at one point. Kids like wrestling. I wasn't into it, but just showing interest and connecting with them through it. So even though you may not do music, show up to the show. Show up, help them buy a little beat machine or something like that. You don't have to necessarily like it or understand it to be, supportive of it.
Yeah. Like with the current state of the world right now, what's one thing you think the world needs to hear? Or not even the world, this country?
No, just like, we are all human. We all bleed the same. Color don't matter. There's so much race baiting. And it's like, man, that's what I love about music. It doesn't matter. Like, I can listen to, they made big issue about Bad Bunny doing the halftime show, right?
Yeah.
So just because he was Puerto Rican, he went over to U.S. territory and all that. But it's like, music just hits everybody on a different note. I don't need to know what he has to be saying, but if that beat moves me and I'm a big Bad Bunny fan, and I don't even understand half of it. I understand a little bit, but just because it has that hip hop, feel to it as well, that connects with me.
What's one thing about your community that you feel like is unique? Not even necessarily like the community that you grew up in, but the current community, like your current community.
I would say for me, and I kind of preach this to my kids as well, is like just because we're kin, or how would I say it? Just because we're related doesn't make us family. So there's a lot of family out there that, you know, that could be in a toxic situation. Doesn't mean that should be necessary for you. So just for me, it was creating my own family. You know, whether it doesn't have to be blood, as long as, to me, family is whoever's there for you, whoever shows up for you.
Yeah.
You know, like I said, just because you're related and you're kin doesn't make you necessarily family. Just makes you a relative.
That's deep. Kind of going into like newer things now. So you had you've been performing and stuff lately. Kind of like going into that. What do you feel like is like 3 tips to artists to help them improve their performance? Just from like you know what I'm saying? Seeing, you know what I'm saying? Seeing and viewing around. I
would say, go in there. I know, at least for me and from my perspective, I'm watching, learning, watching, and asking for help. There's a lot of these performances are like an artist showcase, so you're actually performing in front of other artists and learning from them. So for me, it was just learning, asking questions, and if you show that you actually are wanting to do it, and you're even or how do you put that? Or if you're showing interest and you're trying to perfect your craft and people can see that, then they offer those type of tips and opportunities. So a lot of times, like I think it was my second performance, I had somebody, hey, this is how you hold the mic, because this you don't get that feedback and this and that. And I didn't even know that, That was my second performance. And I just had my third one. I was able to perform for the first time in front of my kids, and it felt good. As soon as I came off stage, my daughter came in and gave me a big hug. She was very proud of me, and I was very proud of my son because he was right there next to me, and he got to perform his own stuff too, and it was fun.
Let's see. I like all the clips we got so far. I'm just trying to think if anything else we can go into. All right, let's see. All right, let's go into this. So, if you could give like one piece of advice to single mothers that are raising, a boy by themselves, because like, the situation you grew up in, what would you tell to them?
I would say, man, that's tough.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of tough love, and for me, I feel like having a father is huge. So at that point, man, just all you can do is do the best you can.
Yeah.
And I would say, well, it may be a situation for you, may not be a situation for the kids either. So
surround them by good role models.
Yes, exactly. Find that coach who might be in there. Find some type of mentor, because they need that. They need that no matter what.
Yeah, that's real. To the people out here that are trying but don't really know, what's the advice that you can give to people to start being a better role model? That's really what this country needs.
A lot more.
Yeah.
Well, it takes putting yourself out there, and I think that's where. I just did a song called "Dear Children," and that's one of the things I said. We got enough. Don't have enough. What did I say? We need more shepherds. We have enough sheep. So it's like you have to really put yourself there and lead the pack. Exactly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So the only way you can lead is, there's different ways to lead, but I feel the best way to lead is by example. So you got to put yourself out there and show people the way, and let them follow you. And then I think leadership, qualities fall into other people, and they become leaders themselves as well. And you take the good from the bad, and keep the good too.
Do you feel like leaders are born, or do you feel like leaders are born, or do you feel like they're built through experience?
I think a little bit of both. I think everybody has leadership qualities, in one way or another. It's just how it gets pulled out of you. Like I said, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of leaders, but sometimes they get beat down and they don't want to lead, or they get told these type of things like, oh, you ain't nothing, what makes you think you can do this, just like, a small person compared to like a big guy, and like, a lot of people are going to lean towards, the bigger, stronger, and that type of thing, but doesn't mean just because they're bigger or stronger doesn't mean they're a great leader. He might have the better ideas or, whatever the case may be, but for me, just leading by example, and if you're able to show that leadership, I think a lot of people will follow.
What qualities do you think define a strong man in today's society?
A strong man, like I said, for me, it's like I said, it's always consistency. Consistency and being there and showing up when a lot of people don't want to. So I feel like that's just half the battle. And then when you're there and being engaged, a lot of people with this age of technology, they show up but tune out. So like at that point, like what's the point? These kids feel that too. Like, hey, you're looking over at the bench, you're sitting down there not paying attention. Sometimes even get up, just a small time. You don't get a lot of time with your kids, man. They think it's a lot, and I've heard a lot of things like, man, forget them kids. Like what do you mean forget them kids? Why'd you have them if it's forget them kids? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, for me, I don't know. Everybody's different.
So years from now, when your family talks about your life, what do you hope they say about the man that you were?
That was a good person. I was honest. I was always there. They could always count on me. That's part of the reason with my name, Crucial. The way we came up with that was, because I was always there. And when you need me, I'll be there. So that's how I tie that Crucial back into it.
Yeah.
And I kept that, since I was a kid, since I was a teenager. And then, so anybody that knows me knows that if they need me, I'm there.
You can give them an outro. You can tell them where to follow you at on Instagram and all social medias.
All right. Hey, y'all, it's Crucial. I'm with Broken Youth Radio. You can follow me at CMG_Crucial on Instagram, and then everything else, TikTok and Facebook, all the rest, Culmination Music Group. All one word.
Sure. I appreciate having you on today, Mr.
Thank you. Appreciate it.